Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Cedar Lake Board of Zoning Appeals, June 12, 2025. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Here.
Mr. Hunley?
Here.
Mr. Jackson is absent. Mr. Burnham?
Present.
Mr. Caporo?
Present.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
Mr. Conley?
Present.
Mr. Kubiak is absent. Ms. Tyduk is present.
Baby steps.
Okay, the minutes for May 8, 2025 have been distributed. If there are no corrections, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as stated.
Motion made by Mr. Burnham.
Second.
Second by Mr. Riley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Caporo?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Old business. Jacobek, developmental variance. Deferred as of May 8, 2025. Owner petitioner Julie and Edwards Jacobek, 17221 Klein Avenue, Unit 1, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Vicinity of 13436 Cedar Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Discussion on requiring having a survey document for approval. Petitioner is requesting a developmental variance to build a house on a lot that is approximately 4,144 square feet, 52.5 feet in width, 10 feet front yard, 5 feet side yard, 22 feet rear yard to lake, 43.4% lot coverage, and 1 off-street parking. Do we have a petitioner?
Petitioners are not here tonight. We actually pulled this from the agenda originally, thinking we were doing the right thing, because they had deferred it, and the recommendation from the BZA was to have them provide a new survey. And there was a discussion in the building department whether that is a correct recommendation, because that's a pretty costly thing if they're not going to approve the variances. So it's still on defer, but I think we wanted to have that discussion because that's one of the reasons why they weren't going to be here tonight, because the surveyor couldn't get it done. And right now we're having a problem not with them, but a lot of people getting surveys done.
All right, my question is, once they build this house, don't they have to have as-built, which will require a survey with the location?
They'll have a survey once they put their building permit in place.
They'll have to show an as-built.
No, not an as-built, but they'll have, well, an as-bilt's when the house is done. They have to provide what they call a location, a plat survey to show what they're going to build. Okay, and then the as-built is done when the house is finished. So they provide it before and after in the process.
Okay. Can this board take action without them present, or?
I think because they're in the status of, the question they have is, do they have to provide a survey as you guys requested for this board in order for them to get approved? And there's disagreement all over the place whether that's what we should be doing, because that's the reason why they come here. And then when they get the approval, then they pay the additional couple of $1,000s to get the surveys.
My point, we deferred it. We had the discussion. All we did was defer it. We didn't do any other action. We didn't tell them to go do this. We didn't tell them to go do that. We deferred it until we had the whole board back, and we could discuss it further. I don't remember us saying you had to have a survey, because there's more here than what was here before.
That, actually, I pulled stuff out of the packet.
Right, but a lot of this, from my recollection, we didn't have lots. And,
Well, we had the hand sketch here, I believe the architect or the builder did that,
The architect did that,
you know,
And
and,
it's reasonable in itself, but again, the petition was based upon petitions in that area that, you know, that you have in the ordinance, so.
well, my feeling, go ahead.
I wish they were here, because I have a couple of questions, and now I can't ask them.
Well, they're planning on being, again, they would have been here tonight, but they were like, we don't have the survey.
Well, I think they misheard or something. All we did, from what we had, was make the deferral. We didn't request anything. All we did was vote to defer to this meeting.
So the discussion we had this morning in our planning meeting was, it was taken off of the agenda. And then the discussion turned to, well, if it's removed from the agenda, then it has to go through the whole process again. So to at least keep it on the agenda to be deferred, if that was your pleasure. But then I think the bigger discussion that would kind of mute everything else is this a legacy lot that can be built on? Because it's not tearing down a house to build another house, it's a lot that is undersized and the house has been torn down and the lot has been vacant for some time. So it's not tearing down a house to build another house there. So is it really qualified as a legacy lot to build on?
Well, I think we had that discussion last meeting, and I think we made the decision that it wasn't a legacy lot because it's an empty lot.
Correct. So everything else kind of,
So now they need all this other stuff.
So clarity, for a definition, is it a legacy lot or no?
it is not.
It is not. I mean, I didn't get to hear about this last month,
Yeah, because
so.
they already tore down the structures on it, so it's basically an empty lot now, with nothing on it. They should go down there and look. Both lots, they tore down two of them, I guess.
It was like the house was torn down 2 months ago to build a new one right away. It's
Right.
been vacant.
Yeah, you can tell it's been gone for a while.
John, may I ask a question?
Now, if that house, boat house wasn't tore down, it had been okay, right?
Go ahead.
Being that it's deferred, can we defer it to next month so we can have them come in, answer those
Yeah.
questions, so we
Yeah,
can
they'll be
make an
here.
accurate
Right.
decision on this, and then, you know, and then move forward with it? I wouldn't want the homeowner to spend more money than needs to, but there's obviously questions that need to be answered, and they would need to represent that, so I'll make a motion to defer it to next month.
I'd like to make a comment first. So we have a motion to defer, but,
I'll second it, so you can do your. Thank you, Jerry.
but, is what they presented here, this hand-drawn sketch by the architect, is that acceptable by the town?
I think it's acceptable to be able to write the petition and the variances that we requested. So, yeah, I mean, because they have to meet, if you approve that, they have to meet those requirements. And you could strike down, let's say, because we did find out later on that if they went with a side-load garage, that they wouldn't have to have the variance for the two-car, which is required in R2. Okay? So, and a side-load garage would meet that with the driveway. So,
Because if this sketch is okay, and they have to build according to that if it's approved, then I would say they don't need to get a survey done at this time. They need to get it as normal. There was a lot of confusion last week.
Yes.
They were talking about 85 years of homesteading or something, or removing the TP and putting up a hut or something, I don't know. But there was a lot of confusion going on.
So my understanding, though, we're not approving the drawing. We're approving the measurements of where that house is going to lay. The setback, That's what we're gonna approve on.
Correct.
So when they go to build it, that's when that sketch is, and what we're going to approve is the placement of it with that, whatever we determine for the setbacks are.
Right, well, I just want to
Correct.
get good clarification right now so that you can get back to them and tell, yes, that this drawing is okay, you don't need to survey at this time, or no, it's not, you need to get a survey. I think the drawing is adequate for now. Yes, Ben?
Can the public speak in regards to this?
I didn't put it on there.
Uh,
That's up to Jeff.
That's up to the chair.
That's up to the chair.
Let's move on. We're deferring to next month, we'll take care of it.
I have a question on that anyway.
But, yeah, we can move on, but they still have to give him some direction. Is he gonna get the survey, or is it just sketch good? Yes or no? That's what we need to know right now, then we can move on.
I got a question. Why, I'm not clear. If the old house would have been left on, it was okay, but now the house is gone, it's not okay. Why is that?
Because it's been going too long.
Still, the lot's still there, the same size as the lot that the house was on.
What's trying to be lot? It's just like if I had a lot that's 50 feet wide and I wanted to build a house. Well, the lot's been there since they developed the town, but it's not a legacy lot because it's in.
But if you left the house on there, you could build on it.
Yeah, but it's not. That's the whole problem, Jim. The house is gone, and it's been gone for a while.
So you can't really build a new house, you have to add on to the old one.
No, it's gotta be there.
They'd have to obtain more lots to build on that lot.
Okay. Got a motion by Mr. Byrne to defer to next month's meeting, seconded by Mr. Riley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Kapura?
Yes, motion carries 5-0.
Mr.
Chairman,
Chairman,
next month.
Mr. Chairman, could the staff provide a copy of the minutes of this meeting and last month's meeting to the petitioner? Provide a little bit of guidance to those people who have applied and come here to see us.
Okay. The minutes have a long dissertation on what we discussed at the last meeting. Minutes, so I mean, read through those and you'll see there was a lot, there's a page and a half of minutes there or something, so.
And it helps provide a bit of guidance to a citizen.
Cheryl, you can take care of that, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. New business, number 1. Boomsma, developmental variance, Derek Boomsma, 12621 Alexander Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Bislaw, 12632 Wicker Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana, vicinity of 12621 Alexander Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting to build an accessory building that will have an exterior wall height not to exceed 17 feet and a total building height not to exceed 25 feet. Total square footage of accessory building will be 1,600 square feet on a parcel that is 1,147 acres. Are legals in order?
Legals are in order.
Okay, now, Mr. Fisk told me that it wasn't,
They're almost. I'll take,
what?
I have broad shoulders. We forgot to send out the Times publication, so we sent out notices to everybody surrounding, and I realized yesterday that we had not sent out the Times. So I'm prepared to present if there's anyone here from the public that received the adjacent notices, if they want to speak to it. And then after we present, maybe defer it to next month would be my suggestion.
Can we, David, can we proceed without it being advertised at a time?
Actually, that's a really good suggestion, because there may be folks here who have an interest in this, came here tonight specifically to see
So we can
it,
go ahead and proceed.
but there'd be no action taken.
No action, it'll wind up being a deferral, but we can discuss it, okay?
And the public hearing
Wanna
would
make
be
sure we're
continued to next month.
on the right track, okay.
Works.
All right, give us your name of that.
Yes, Nathan Biss on behalf of Derek Boomsma and his bride, 12621 Alexander Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. The property that I'm here on behalf of this evening. As we've indicated in our petition, my client purchased with his bride a couple years ago, 12621 Alexander Street. I've got a couple pictures I can share here in a bit. It's a lot that's almost 1.2 acres, heavily wooded, and my client has a growing family. They've purchased a fifth wheel trailer that is a camper, and they're looking for a place to store it indoors. Because of its height, it requires a 14-foot overhead door, which if you're going to build a shed or exterior structure, then requires for the sidewalls to be 17 feet, and if you're going to have a top peak point, that's roughly about 24 feet and some inches, so I put 25 feet in our application. So we're looking for a sidewall height variance of 10 feet, so that would be a sidewall up to not to exceed 17 feet, and then that's the exterior wall, and then a total overall height of up to 25 feet. This places the lot coverage at approximately 10%, which is far under what the lots require. I'm going to pass out a couple pictures. Thank you. Carl will share it. So if you look at the first page, that's just looking at 12621 Alexander Street from the road. You can see just heavily wooded. If you turn to the second page, that just indicates what the area looks like on the opposite side of the street. And then if you turn to the third page, that's just an overview of the area, heavily wooded, large lots, about 1.2 acre lots. The opposite side of the street, they're about 1.4 acres. Also included in your packet is a set of proposed findings of fact for the developmental variance. First question asked, will it be injurious to the public? Absolutely not. If you can index seat in there, it allows my client to store his toys inside, out of sight. It's also for safety, and also allows his family an opportunity, a place to play indoors when it's raining outside for his kids. Will the use in the valley of the areas adjacent, included in the variance, be affected in a negatively, substantially adverse manner? Absolutely not. They're going to be increased with a beautifully built structure. And then third, will a strict application of the zoning ordinance result in practical difficulties in the use of the property? And as I've outlined in our petition, it definitely will. The purpose of this portion of the code is to grant you the discretion to ensure that improper buildings aren't put up in residential areas. So with that, my client's requesting those two developmental variances.
Okay, let's have a seat. I'll call for remonstrators.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any remonstrators for or against this request? Any remonstrators for or against? Anybody online?
No.
Last call. Administration is closed. Well, should I keep it open until next meeting?
Public hearing needs to stay open, and the note I made for the town's file is that the legals were in order except for the NWI Times not being published. Presentation was made without objection for the public hearing to be opened, but continued to the July BZA meeting.
Okay, so
I think that's what happened here.
They open it, make,
So-
continue with this, or you just?
Yeah, so when it's advertised and we go forward, more people may be here for it. We can still call for remonstration.
No motion is needed for that?
No.
Okay.
You do need a motion, right, Dave,
To continue
the public hearing?
To continue the public hearing to be.
To the next meeting?
To July public meeting.
All right.
Does the deferral won't take that?
You're specifying exactly what's happening here for the record, John.
So I will make a motion to keep open to the next meeting,
The public hearing.
July 10th,
Yeah.
okay?
But then we still have to continue with Nathan's or any questions we have, correct?
You'll get to hear Nathan again next month, and his dulcet tones will be reheard.
Okay, and I mean.
You're done.
You're done.
We're done? No questions?
No.
Well,
We can't have that anyway, so I suppose.
I got a motion by Mr. Burnham to keep the public, meeting open until next month, and this matter be deferred till next month. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Riley. No discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
Yes, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
You bet. Number 2, Recupero, variance of use. Owner A&R Homestead LLC, 13115 Wicker Avenue, Suite A, number 32, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner Alexander Recupero, 10812 West 134th Place, Cedar Lake, Indiana, vicinity of 10819 West 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner requests a variance of use to rent an existing home on a B3 zoning district on a parcel that is .746 acres or 32,487 square feet. Are legals in order?
Legals are in order, they're well orderly.
Name and address, please.
Al Recupero, 10812 West 134th Place, Cedar Lake, Indiana.
All right, give us a quickie on what you want to do there, Al.
Yeah, so I got this property purchased last September, right on 133rd. It's got B3 zoning. It's got, had an 1,800 square foot outbuilding and then single family home. We already went through the plan commission for my site plan. I guess my site plan was approved upon getting occupancy to run my business out of the outbuilding and rent the house out to a single family. I guess there was confusion that I had to get a variance of use before I could get occupancy, even though it was approved by the plan commission. So, I guess big picture is I do paintless dent repair and like auto detailing. I want to run my business out of the shop and back. That falls under the B3 category, and then rent the existing house that's on the property.
If you don't know where this is, it's a blue house, right next to where,
The baseball field, right?
No, it's in front of the, yeah, the new property purchase.
Next to where we're gonna build the Jet Pizza and, the Wings place. And there's a house up front.
Close proximity, yeah.
There's a house up front, and
Yeah,
there's a
across the
garage
hall.
in back, and he's doing, detailing, car detailing and that, somewhat in there. Most of his work is mobile, and he wants to rent the the house out up front as rental property. And it's zoned B3, but there's special uses in there for like those 3 houses, right there, for
Would this
residents.
fall in line, so if a hairdresser was renting his or her air spot out in the house, does that fall in the same lines? I mean, we've had that happen. We've had hairdresser do business out of her house, or his house, however you want to,
Well,
whatever,
that's-
their house, and
It's a special use to rent it, so yeah, basically I would say it would come somewhat under that category as.
I'm just asking.
Yeah,
But they are separate buildings now.
But they are separate
They are
buildings,
separate.
yeah.
Completely separate buildings.
If his family lives there, it's okay, right? Right. I see no difference between if it's his family or another family living there, there's gonna be someone living there. That's right.
I mean, we've given like restrictions of how many people can go there.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't sound like you're gonna be doing,
No.
We've
roll.
vetted it a lot at the plan commission, and he's gotta have
I got a concrete.
Yeah, concrete, he's got a year to put some concrete in.
So much parking.
He's got,
Yeah.
parking for a rental property, and we vetted a whole bunch of that through the plan commission before we gave him the approval. But it's just a formality here where he has to get, a variance because he wants to rent it out, he's not living in it.
do you want the motion to read that if a bay goes by those, what, on the plan commission, you said you had stipulations to it?
There was,
Just
I don't remember any stipulations. The main thing was the getting the concrete and like the parking for the site plan, finished within a year, I think was what the plan commission told me.
I personally wouldn't wanna see a bunch of cars on
Right,
the
of
road,
course.
that you have scheduled and fill up,
Yeah.
in front of the gentleman's house. But I assume your renter ain't gonna be very happy either, cause they're gonna want their space.
No, of course, and like, the shop's big enough really to hold, unless it's like a late night pickup or drop off or early morning, and my parking or my employees' parking, the shop's big enough to have anything we're working or have in queue inside, so You're not gonna have anything sitting outside.
John, I don't have any.
All three of those houses are business over there, aren't they? Every one of those?
Yeah, the whole corridor is all B3.
Yeah.
All right, Al, why don't you have a seat a minute, and I'll call for your administrators. We have any administrators for or against this request? Any administrators for or against? Anybody online?
No.
Last call. The administration is closed. You can come back up, Al. Building department have anything? Nah.
We have nothing.
Yeah.
Variance use.
Any other discussion from the board members?
No, I'm good with it.
If none, then I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a favorable not recommendation, we're actually granting it, so I will make a motion to grant the variance of use to rent an existing home on a B3 zoning district on a parcel that is .746 acres or 32,487 square feet to the finding of the facts.
John?
Okay, this is approval to the town council?
Yes.
Oh, so I'll make a favorable recommendation?
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, I read it wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
Second it.
Jim, you second it? Yeah, a motion by, Mr. Byrne to send a favorable recommendation to the town council, seconded by Mr. Hunley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Kapara?
Yes, motion carries 5-0.
All righty.
Thank you all. Number 3, Wellworks, developmental variance, Andrew Wellwork, 8229 Lakeshore Drive, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Vicinity of 8100 West 128th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. The developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to add an addition to an existing two-story building which has a rear yard setback of 3.7 feet. Finished project is expected to be a 1.5-story residence, approximately 2,164 square feet, with an attached garage, approximately 682 square feet. Lot coverage on the parcel is approximately 13.5%. Are legals in order?
I'm not certain yet.
No?
I am not certain yet.
Okay, I'm sorry, all right,
Proceed, and I'll catch up.
okay. Name and address, please.
Andrew Wellworth, 8229 Lakeshore Drive.
Tell us what you want to do, Andrew.
There's an existing two-story building on my property. It's a little bit over 1,300 square feet. The rear setback is 3.7 feet. I just want to go off the front of it towards the street, and I have to go off to the side. The building is on a slight angle, so if I keep that angle, when I go off to the side, I'm only going to be about 23 feet instead of 30. So that's what I'm asking for, I believe. And building onto a building that's 3.7 feet from the rear setback.
Yeah, but you're not going to be putting your addition 3.7 feet off of it.
No, I'm going towards the front of the street.
Towards the front, right, that's
And then I'm going off to the side with that addition.
Will you have a seat for a minute? I'll call for your administrators.
Yes, sir.
Favor your administrators for or against this request? Either administrators for or against? Anybody online?
No.
Last call. Demonstrations are closed. You can step back up, sir.
John, the legals are in order.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have any questions from the building department?
No, I guess my only question is just the front yard setback is 23 feet with the front porch there, is that what we're looking for?
I think the front yard setback is 44.6.
What did you have, when you read the thing, what was the 23 feet?
That's towards the back. That's
Oh,
3 points
okay.
out the back corner.
I got you, the back
With
of
the
the
addition on the side. The only reason it's like that is because the existing garage, it runs on a tiny basis.
No questions, no problems, it's just utilizing what's there and making it better, so.
This is the house in front, correct? And that was the back part of that garage you're turning into a house.
Have any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
This is a little long, I can read all this, huh? I'll make a motion to allow the variance, wait, am I doing a favorable, or am I just recommendation, or allowing?
Developmental,
What's that?
you make it here.
Allow the variance, I'll make a motion to allow the variance for the petitioner to add an addition to an existing two-story building with the rear yard setback of 3.7, finished project to expand to be 1.5-story resident, approximately 2,164 square feet, with an attached garage approximately 682 square feet. Lot coverage on parcel is approximately 13.5% to the findings of the back.
I have a motion by Mr. Burnham, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Jackson. I got it right this time.
Can we add in there that the new addition cannot be no closer than 23 feet off the back property line? Because that's not mentioned in.
You may impose reasonable conditions.
So would you add that
So,
23 feet?
how do you want me to word it?
So the addition would not be any closer than 23 feet to the,
Rear yard setback.
Yeah, that's not,
No.
we're good.
yeah, okay,
We're all good?
yeah, okay. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Capros?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Number 4, Wayland, developmental variance, owner petitioner Marlene R. and Christine Wayland, 14742A, Drummond Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Cindy of 14742A, Drummond Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana, developmental variances to allow the petitioner to build an addition on the footprint of the existing concrete patio on the half of the duplex residence on a lot that is 13,125 square feet, 105 feet in width, with a 20-foot rear yard at the addition and approximately 30.7% lot coverage. Are legals in order?
Legals are in order.
State your name and address, please.
14742 Drummond Avenue, Unit A.
Yeah, what's your name, too?
Joseph Hoffman. I'm here representing Chris Whalen.
Are you the builder?
Now, actually, Glenn Vanderay is going to be the builder of it.
Who is the owner here? I'd like to have the owner up there with you, too.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Chris Whalen, and I actually purchased this house for my mom recently at 14742A in Drummond Avenue.
Okay.
And moved her out of a house of 62 years. She had a sunroom in her home.
Sure.
And this one does not have a sunroom, so wanted to see if we could make her happy.
Sure.
Add it on for her.
Okay. Then let me call for a remonstration. You could just grab a seat up front here, and I'll call for remonstrators. Do we have any remonstrators for or against this petition? Any remonstrators for or against? Anybody online?
No.
Last call. Demonstrations are closed. You can come back up, please. Building department, do you have any comments?
I guess I just have a question for Terry here with your calculations for the square footage. That lot's only half of that piece of property for that duplex. That should only be 52.5 feet by 125.
The calculation was,
That's a 12 by 12 slab.
15 by 15, the slab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So existing
do they have a
slab.
survey here? It'll show
It
it.
says down there, yeah, right
Go
here.
back to the survey.
Right here it shows 105, which is, that's half of that.
Right, so it'd be half of that.
I just want to make sure that their percentage is right, because that map
No, that would affect it, that would affect the percentage.
Just looking at your sheet up there,
Yeah,
so that should be 52.
and a half, right, by 125. So it'd be, their half would be 6,000,
65.
675, whatever it is.
That's typical of all those lots and residents, the majority of them are over there in
They're
Elizabeth, so.
they're just here to put, they have a patio that's, basically 12 by 12, right?
No, 15, but 225 square
15,
foot.
a patio, and they're gonna put a sunroom on top of it, that's it.
And I've seen some drawings in here where they're going down 4 foot with, concrete pillars or to provide a foundation. Is that a hip roof on that house, or is it a gable?
It's gable going across this way, we're bringing a gable in.
You're gonna bring your gable out over, tying that to the existing.
Thing for everything.
Gable goes this way, and we're bringing a gable.
Because that might be the whole parcel.
Right.
But your structure isn't going to be any bigger than what your patio is right now. I mean, the specs of building, that's gonna be up to the building department. You'll have to meet codes on that. So, there's no way to get around that one, so that patio will be gone, and you'll have to put a footing in, or at least a trench, or whatever, so, but that'll be based on there. My concern was it was the same size what you already have,
Right.
so, thank you.
See, this is the whole thing. Go back to
Tim, have you seen the drawings in that on this?
I see the drawings, but I don't know where the math is for the lot, on the sheet here, it shows the lots, both halves, you know, so I'm just making sure that 30% lot coverage is gonna work.
Well, it's a typical lot over in Linsway, and
Right, but it's advertised for 30.7% lot coverage.
they're small lots. I mean, you're lucky to get the house out.
I'm just making sure that's right, that's all I'm saying.
But what you're
Yeah.
saying, Tim, is that 13,000 should be divided by 2?
Yeah, but the house maybe,
The lot is 65, 62, 50.
that's Amanda's.
That's the lot size. Where's the house square footage?
Say, that's for both of them.
The house is probably about 1,600 square feet.
Yeah, so it's,
Main floor of the house,
yeah, so that's both of them,
both halves.
yeah. But it's gonna be pretty close to that.
Close to the,
It's up to them.
well, if it's advertised for 30.7 lot coverage, it's my
It's not advertised as it should be.
Huh?
It's not advertised as it should be.
Right. So half of the house is 1235, 1238.
Do they make a distinction on the lot, Tim, on that? Because a lot of these things,
Yeah, that's, their lot is only that side, that's
Right,
half.
I know.
So you can't do the whole property for. How big is their addition? 12 by?
15 by 15.
225 square foot.
so there's both halves there.
So you have 1463. And you have 65, 62.
They're just concerned about the coverage, so we put the correct. Is that what they're looking at?
I guess.
We want to give them enough. 30 might not be enough.
Well, they're asking for 30.7. I mean, it's typical, like, you know, guys when we do the front porch and they throw a roof over it, and we have to go get a variance from. It's kind of similar the same way.
Yeah.
If it comes out to like 32, we have to have it 42.
But the question is,
So then it's
if
correct,
you
they'll
have
have to come back.
13,000 square foot as property side, there might be half of that to do that.
65, 62.
I have no problem with it, I want to give them the right thing, so they don't have to come back.
I've got several of these, sunrooms and that.
I got one on my house.
I mean, in Winswood.
I'm sunroom envy, I would like to have a sunroom.
Well, they're gonna be okay.
They're nice.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That'd be good, but I don't know what it
Okay.
So what did you come up with coverage? So it's more than 30.7?
Or is 30.7 good?
30.7 is gonna be good.
Okay.
They have 62, 65, and they only have 1463 coverage, so.
So 30.7 will work for her to put her sunroom
We're gonna
in?
lose this, but actually that's gonna be their addition.
I just want to make sure it's right.
Yeah, we want to come back, because it's 31, you know,
Yeah.
31 and a half.
Be close.
Did you guys mind if we just make it 31?
No,
Then they don't have to worry
our,
about it.
our decision.
Yeah. This is wrong, but
Yeah.
Just, please remember that we did that.
All right, we good now, Tim?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, so if we go at 31%, we're in good shape.
Yes, sir. 30.7 is fine, or 31.
31 is just what we'll do.
And we're allowed to do that, correct?
You are.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
If no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to allow the variance for the petitioner to build an addition on footprint, wait a minute, that's the wrong one, isn't it?
Number 4.
Number 4. Wait.
See, I was reading it right then.
Yeah, you have it.
All right. I'll make a motion to allow a variance to be allowed for a petitioner to build an addition on the footprint of the existing concrete patio on its half of the duplex resident on a lot that is 13,175 square feet, 105 in width and 20 in rear setback, in addition to approximately 31% lot coverage
Per findings.
to the findings of the fact.
Have a motion by Mr. Burnham to approve. Second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Riley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Kapura?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna be so happy. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Number 5, Schassberger Developmental Variance. Owner petitioner Amanda R. Schassberger, 5732 Tahoe Place, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Sending at 5732 Tahoe Place, Cedar Lake, Indiana. This developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to have a lot coverage of 28% to allow for future accessory building on the property. So we have a petitioner.
Yeah.
Legals in order?
In order.
I think my name is...
State your name and address, please.
Amanda Schaffberger, 5732 Tahoe Place, Cedar Lake.
All right, say what you want to do.
I just want to build a portable shed in my backyard. I got need for
When-
storage.
When are you going to build that?
Where?
When?
Oh, well, I didn't, hopefully this summer. I didn't want to, they keep calling me to purchase it, but I'm like, I don't want to purchase anything until town approves it.
So
She's at maximum now, guys, at 25%, and that's just the way the builder left it.
Yeah, it's over in
So-
Lakeside, right?
This is the front part, the older part.
Do they have any variances on what you can build or put there? You said it's not permanent,
No, it's a portable one.
so the building codes or whatever whatever it's made out of will be in their...
I think the HOA just required, the color, but it's gonna be pretty much the same shed that everybody else, it's a wood shed, like,
And the size of it?
8 by 12.
Oh.
She is 100 square foot, which would put her over.
So all she's doing is preparing for the inevitable of the shed to put her lawnmower in.
And technically, she could have up to 2 auxiliary buildings if she
Yeah.
had the space to do it.
Sure.
So that's why she's asking the 28.
And 8 by 12 falls under, it doesn't need a foundation or nothing, so it doesn't have to be a permanent structure.
So these lot coverage, correct, so.
No, I have no more
Yeah.
questions.
We have a seat for a minute, I'll call for remonstrators. You can sit right up front if you like, won't take long. We have any remonstrators for or against? Any remonstrators for or against? Anybody online?
No.
Last call. Demonstrations are closed. You can come back up, please. Tim, do you have anything?
No, nothing.
Board members? Then I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to allow a variance for petitioner to have a lot coverage of 28% to allow for future accessory building on this property to the findings of fact.
I'll second it.
Had a motion by Mr. Burnham, second by Mr. Hunley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Clifford?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Number 6. Clinicus, developmental variance. Petitioner Gus Clinicus, 510 East Monitor Street, Crown Point, Indiana, 46307. Vicinity of 7215 West 129th Avenue, Cedar Lake. This developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to build a bi-level house on a parcel that is 7,500 square feet, 75 feet in width, 1,120 square foot building, size 23.3% lot coverage. Are legals in order?
They are.
Do we have a petitioner? Anybody online?
No.
Well, no petitioner.
With no petitioner, may I make I'd like for it to be continuous to next month, give them a shot to come on back.
Yeah, we can
Are we
do,
okay with that?
we can do a deferral next month and,
Continued
send a notice out to,
Continued public hearing.
Continue the public hearing.
what's that?
Continued public hearing.
That's how you want it to be worded? Dave?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to have a continued public hearing to next month, July 10th, correct?
Right. We don't need finding facts.
No.
Second?
Second by Mr. Riley. Motion made by Mr. Burnham, second by Mr. Riley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Clifford?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Any public comments? Public comment?
We talked about anything that was gonna happen tonight, or is it just gonna be?
Well, it depends. I know you brought the muscle with you. so-
Pertaining to, how we pertain to the zoning appeals?
Tony Recupero, 13438 Dewey Street. In regards to that first case that you deferred, I was at the last meeting, and, I kind of remember that one of the last things that you said was that, hey, we got this old survey here, you know, among other things we didn't have. We have this old survey we're working with. We should at least have more information than a new survey. And that's when the gentleman stormed out, right in the door. That's the way I remembered it.
Yeah.
But the reason why I want to talk on this subject is that our family has several properties in that area, and I will tell you, if you have a survey, you can't make a educated decision, because when you look at these properties, they aren't what you think they are. Several of our properties, the iron rods are in the middle of the street. So if you give a 10-foot front yard variance, and that iron rod is 6 foot into the pavement, your structure is gonna be 4 feet from the edge of pavement. So, to me, a survey is really important. I know you don't wanna spend the money, nobody does, we didn't want to, but we did. So I'm saying, you know, if you have a drawing, and I draw, and I show a street, and this and that, and even on the lakeside, how do you know that that lake, that wasn't filled in many years ago, which there are properties that have been along the lake. So I think you need to have a survey, especially with all these setbacks, and they want 6 variances, and especially along that street, like I said, you don't know, you can't go by just a hand-drawn thing.
They have a legitimate survey in the data they submitted. Now, what I didn't like about it, because he's showing the house that he was going to build, not the one he's building. So my intent was to show us where that house is going to sit on that piece of property. Now, the architect drew in where the house is going to be located with the setbacks and the side yards and all that on it. Okay. When he comes in for his permit, like Mr. Conway said, he's going to have to get a survey for location of the house where he's going to put it and what have you. So at that time, the building department is going to determine a lot of things. And then when he's finished, he has to present a plat showing us where the house sits. So there's a lot of belts and suspenders going through this to get to his eventual house. I understand your concern, and I do understand with the marker being in the middle of the road, and if you're taking it off that, and you're 30 feet off that, and you got 10-foot road, you only got 20 foot in front, or what have you. Yeah, I understand all that, but we still have to vet everything. I mean, and see where it goes. But yeah, we take all that into consideration.
But you can't, how can you approve or disapprove of something when in regards to variances, when you're not 100% sure where the property line is? I mean, if you guys, let's just say you approve it, then it goes to the building department, I get it, but you've already okayed a 10-foot front yard setback. The building department's not gonna care where that iron rod is, that's what they're gonna go by. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, absolutely, and that road, I mean, we know for a fact that road is not in the yard, I mean, it's...
Yeah, and that's not the resident's fault.
But there's been a lot of development along that road, and we know that the road isn't 10 feet off, we know it's close, but at the end of the day, we just don't like to, I mean, as the building department, we don't like to make people buy an engineered site plan for a house that doesn't meet, obviously they need to get approved for variances to build this house. So if they pay $2,500 for an engineered site plan, they come here and these guys decide, hey, instead of a 5-foot setback, we want a 7-foot setback. That thing that they just bought is junk. So that's why we allow, I mean, at the end of the day, we know the size of the property, we know that the setbacks are 5, whatever they're asking for. Now, when they bring their site plan, we check off to make sure that those numbers, height, setbacks are all meet what was approved here, but we don't make them actually pay for an engineered site plan until they have approval, because you see what happens here all the time, there's never, I mean, we don't know, and again, I understand what you're saying, if the road is 10, in their property, 10 feet, or 3, whatever, but.
So what I'm saying, you're gonna, that's where your property.
We generally know that those situations where the roads are off already, we know where those are pretty much, not every one, but kind of, but that's not the case here.
But when they vote for this, they're basing it on a survey that's not here, let's just say, but they're assuming,
No, we're not assuming anything, Mr. Recupero.
No, but what I'm saying is, how would you know when you say...
Because the architect based it off the certified engineer's survey from years back. So even if he didn't draw in any house to be built on it, just the survey, it would still be good today because it was certified. The architect took that survey, and based on that survey, he put the house on that piece of property. So that's how we're not making assumptions. We're looking and saying, if you're gonna build a house, it's gonna have to be from this property line, you know, so far in, whatever it is. That's what we'll be saying.
So I get that, and I understand.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing, the survey you're seeing, is actually showing the four corners and where, in relationship to the paved street? You're seeing that?
Yeah, they gave us a legitimate certified, survey.
It's right here, Tony, if you wanna see it.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm just bringing it up to your attention, because we do have property.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And here's the very narrow road.
Yeah,
This was from 2019, which is fairly recent.
It's showing the street. Okay, well, then that's.
This is a survey that was.
The garage.
I get it, right.
When they approved it in 2019.
The house is just.
It's just an older
It was
survey.
already
It's already showing.
How many of those?
Yeah, they're not gonna come in on a napkin from,
I thought it was
from the White House and say, here, you know, with all these things all over it.
How many vacant lots are there down there from that?
I'm sorry?
How many vacant lots are there from?
Well, originally there was 3 small cottages there.
Now they divided it in half.
Yeah, what was it, maybe 900 square foot houses or something?
Yeah, they split it in half.
So they they tore all 3 houses down, cut it in half, and then they wanna do what they wanna do.
And they want to put 2 new houses.
But everything south of there is small, 1,000 square foot houses, 1 story. There's one thing that got snuck in there, but 3-story thing, but that's another story. but-
Yeah, we know, trust me, I know, if not everybody knows, the concern that the Ruffos have about
Yeah.
that area there, and I can, you know, understand it. I
We're
wonder
not
what everybody
the only
else-
ones that have concerns, so we're maybe the only ones that are here to speak, but.
Yeah, that's a shame, because other people should be here and.
Hopefully you'll make it back next month.
Yeah, we'll be here.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other public comment? Nobody online?
No.
Last call. We're adjourned till July 10th.